Parkdale High Park.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my honour to rise in this House and to speak about this issue. It's also my honour and privilege to represent so many Ukrainian Canadians in my riding. It's been my honour and privilege to be the only MPP to have co-authored both Ukrainian Heritage Month and also the bill that recognized the Holodomor as a genocide, and I'm honoured by that. I've also been honoured to be at those demonstrations at Dundas Square, at City Hall, outside of the Consul, and stand shoulder to shoulder with those constituents of mine who have family in Ukraine and who mourn the events of Ukraine. Let's just go over them. Over 30 people have been killed. This is a peaceful protest. Very rights that we recognize in Canada has been so eloquently stated already are being trespassed. People are being shot in Maidan Square in Kiev, and every day in my office I get an up-to-the-minute report of what's happening in that square. One Professor Winnicki has said, and he said that now they're using the terrorist word, Mr. Speaker, to describe the protesters. It's not just in Kiev, it's across Ukraine that this revolution is happening. He described it. He said, I spent a few hours on Independence Square today. Honestly, I couldn't find a single terrorist. I saw lots of young and middle-aged determined people who were genuinely trying to show brave faces, but in reality are fully cognizant of the futility of their fight against several thousand armed Interior Ministry fighters. He said everyone in Kiev is coming to that square and supporting them with food. In fact, he said, please don't bring any more sausages. We have more meat than we can eat. That is the state of the affair in Maidan. He closes off, as Professor Winnicki, by saying, pray for us, God help us. They're frightened of martial law being imposed. And in light of all of that, Mr. Speaker, what we are calling for and what we're calling for federally is targeted sanctions. We need more action on this issue. We need the government to step up, to actually do something, and that something is to have targeted sanctions against those who are responsible. So that's what we're calling for in the New Democratic Party on behalf of Andrea Horwath. And I'm sharing my time, Mr. Speaker, with someone who is of Ukrainian descent, and that is our member from Essex, Taras Natyshak, and I will give the floor to him now. Thank you.
From Essex.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to all of my colleagues in the House for dedicating and agreeing to unanimous consent to address the crisis that is happening in the Ukraine. I certainly echo the sentiments expressed by my colleague from Parkdale High Park, and of course I stand here as a member of Ukrainian descent. I want to thank all members of the legislature for making this a priority, for sending a clear message to those in the Ukrainian community in our province and across the country, that we stand with them to support the rule of law, to support democracy, and to denounce violence, and to support human rights. Mr. Speaker, I have family members who live in the Ukraine. They are a proud and passionate people, and they are frightened. They're frightened that the continued violence that we've seen in Independence Square in Kiev could escalate and continue given the inaction by the ruling government to address the concerns by those peaceful protesters. It is incumbent upon us as a legislature to stand with those that speak for peace and tolerance and to de-escalate, to use every resource that we can, whether it be sanctions or otherwise, to de-escalate the situation. I am so proud to stand in the legislature that supports human rights, that continues to promote our values and our system of democracy. It is a message and a tribute to what can be possible in a functioning legislature, and I know that is at the core of what those protesters desire. They want to see a functioning legislature, a functioning government that listens to their concerns in a peaceful way, and today is certainly a contribution to that effort, and I want to thank all of my colleagues for making this moment something that I hope will resonate to our Ukrainian communities across the province, and certainly into the hearts of those protesters who seek only a peaceful resolution to this volatile crisis. Thank you very much.